Hello, how are you, my students? Today we will talk about a little, a lot of course book page 61, workbook page 26. Before we start, the outcomes of the video are number one, understand the use of adjectives, a few, a little, and a lot of. Number two, use the adjectives a few, a little, and a lot of in context. Number one, we will talk about the usage, استخدام a few, a little, and a lot of. We use a few is used with countable nouns. A few is used with countable nouns. A little is used with uncountable nouns. A little is used with uncountable nouns. A lot of is used with both countable and uncountable nouns. Here, my students, we use a few, a little, a lot of to describe amount or quantity of something without giving the exact number or amount. نستخدمهم نتحدث عن كمية معينة بدون إعطاء رقم لهذه الكمية. We use a few and a little to talk about a small amount, كمية صغيرة, and we talk about or we use a lot of to talk about a big amount, كمية كبيرة. So we use a few, a little, a lot of to describe amount or quantity, كمية لشيء معين. We use a few, a little to talk about a small amount, كمية صغيرة, and a lot of to talk about a big amount. We use a few with countable nouns, a little with uncountable nouns. A lot of is used with both countable and uncountable nouns. Do you remember what are countable and uncountable nouns? Let's see this video. So, what is the meaning of countable and uncountable nouns? Let's see this video and understand the meaning. Hello, my name is Diana. Today we are learning about countable and uncountable nouns. Let's see an example. Hi Anna, do you have any food? Yes, 2 apples, a sandwich, and a juice. 2 apples, a sandwich, juice. Here we have my students, 2 apples, a sandwich. 2 apples, a sandwich are countable nouns. Juice is uncountable noun. So, countables are things that we can count. 2 eggs, 3 bananas, 3 biscuits. Uncountable nouns are things or food we can't count. For example, chocolate, rice, meat, water. Now you know the difference. Let me ask you some questions. Here we have strawberry, watermelon, and pineapple. They are countables. Strawberries, for example. Here we have ice cream and cheese. They are uncountable nouns. We can't count them. Thank you for paying attention. So, my students, countable nouns الأسماء المعدودة. We can't count it. ممكن نعدهم. Uncountable nouns الأسماء الغير معدودة. We can't count it. ما نستطيع أن نعدهم. Let's answer the questions with each other. Look at the first picture. Here we have chairs. Chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chairs. So Chairs is a countable noun or uncountable noun? Excellent. Chairs is a countable noun. What about water? Water. Can you count the water? No. So water is uncountable noun. What about books? Books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So books is countable noun. Books is a countable noun. What about cheese? Can you count the cheese? No, so cheese is uncountable noun. What about the tables? 1, 2, 3, 3 tables. So tables is countable noun. What about the ice cream? Can you count the ice cream? No, so ice cream is uncountable noun. What about the last picture? Here we have students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students. So students is a countable noun. So again, my students, countable nouns, they are nouns can we count. ممكن نعدهم. Uncountable nouns we can't count. ما بنقدر نعدهم. For example, water, cheese, and ice cream. Let's go to this page. In this exercise, here we have number of pictures. We will talk about each picture using a lot of little and a few. Let's look at these cupcakes. Cupcakes is countable or uncountable? Excellent. Cupcakes is a countable noun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so cupcakes is a countable noun. So, do we use a few or a lot of? Here we have a large amount, كمية كبيرة. So, we will use a lot of. So, the correct sentence is there are a lot of cupcakes in the basket. So here we use a lot of because here we have a large amount, كمية كبيرة, and cupcakes is countable noun. What about the second picture? Here we have orange juice. Orange juice is countable or uncountable noun? Excellent. Orange juice is uncountable noun. So, do we use a lot of or a little? Look at the cup. This is a small amount, كمية صغيرة. So, we will use a little. Excellent. So, the correct sentence is there is a little orange juice in the cup. What about the third picture? Here we have apples. Apples is a countable noun. 1, 2, 3. So we will use a few or a lot of. What about the amount? كمية. It's a few. So we will use a few. The correct sentence is there are a few apples on the table. So, we use a lot of with countable and uncountable noun. We use a little with uncountable noun. And we use a few with countable nouns. Let's go to the book. Please, my students, open your course book, page number 61. Course book page number 61. Sprinkle a little salt, pepper and lemon juice over the vegetables. Here, my students, we use a little because we have salt, pepper and lemon juice and they are uncountable nouns. أسماء غير معدودة. Salt, pepper, lemon juice. Here we have add a few slices of cucumber. Slices of cucumber شرائح من الخيار. A few we use with the countable nouns. Slices of cucumber. Slices of cucumber, countable noun, so we use a few. You may add a lot of ketchup if you prefer. Ketchup is uncountable noun, so we use a lot of to talk about a large amount, كمية كبيرة. So we use the adjectives such as a few, a little, a lot of to describe the amount or quantity of something without giving the exact number or amount. نستخدمهم. هاي الادجكتيفز هم a few و a little a lot of لما نحكي عن كمية من شيء بدون ما نحدد الرقم أو الكمية محددة. A few is used with countable nouns مع الأسماء المعدودة. A little is used with uncountable nouns مع الأسماء الغير معدودة. A lot of is used with both countable and uncountable nouns. We use a few and a little to talk about a small amount كمية صغيرة, and we use a lot of to talk about large amount كمية كبيرة. Okay, let's answer this question with each other. Fill in the blanks with a few, a little, or a lot of. We will read each sentence and see if the noun is countable or uncountable and use the suitable adjective, a few, a little, or a lot of. Let's start with number one. Number one, people came to watch the match. Look at the picture. Here we have numbers of people. A big amount or large amount, كمية كبيرة. So people is a countable noun. People is a countable noun. So we will use a few or a lot of. نستخدم إما a few أو a lot of. Look at the picture. Here we have a large amount, كمية كبيرة. So we will use a lot of. So number one, a lot of people. This project is almost complete. هذا المشروع انتهى. I just need time to add my name on the cover. Time is uncountable noun. Time is uncountable noun. So we will use a little time. We invited all our friends, but only of them accepted our invitation. Here we talk about friends. Friends is countable nouns, اسم معدود. So we will use a few. Here we use a few, not a lot of, because we talk about a small amount. نحكي عن كمية أو عدد صغير من الأصدقاء اللي حضروا. So we use a few. Number four, you may put butter on your toast, but don't have too much. Butter is uncountable noun, اسم غير معدود, الزبدة. So we will use a little. May I have more milk in my coffee? Milk is uncountable noun, so we will use a little more. القليل من الحليب. She likes tea with teaspoons of sugar. Teaspoons اللي هي ملاعق الشاي, and we can count them. So we will use a few teaspoons of sugar. نضيف القليل من ملعقة الشاي من السكر. You must drink water. Water when it is hot outside. Water is uncountable noun, and here the sentence is talking about شرب الكثير من الماء عندما يكون الطقس حار. So we will use a lot of. Number 8, there are only books left after the sale. You may take those. Only, we talk about a small amount, كمية صغيرة. Books is countable nouns. We can't count them. So we will use a few. لأنه books countable, وهون عم نحكي عن small amount, كمية صغيرة. So here, my students, when we answer the question, we look at the noun, if it's countable or uncountable. Here we have people, time, friends. Here we have butter, milk, teaspoons, water, and books. So these are the answers. Let's go to the workbook page number, to the workbook. Let's go to the workbook page number 26. Workbook page number 26. Here in this box we talked about the adjectives, a few, a little, a lot of, again to describe the amount or quantity of something, كمية شيء معينة. A few is used with countable nouns to talk about a small amount, كمية صغيرة عن countable nouns. A little is used with uncountable nouns with a small amount, كمية برضو صغيرة. A lot of is used with both countable and uncountable مع الأسماء المعدودة وغير المعدودة to talk about large amount, كمية كبيرة. Here we have a question. Adam and Muna are the opposite of each other. Compare what the two children like to eat and do. Fill in the blanks with a few, a little, or a lot of. Here we will complete the table. رح نكمل الجدول ب a lot of, a little, and a few. Here we have Adam and Muna, and they are the opposite. Opposite عكس بعض. So opposite عكس بعض. Okay, let's start. I munch on biscuits. Biscuits is countable noun. Biscuits is a countable noun. So we will use a lot of and a few. We will use a lot of and a few for Muna because they are opposite. هون بحب الكثير من البسكويت وهون القليل من البسكويت. So here we use a lot of and a few. What about number 2? I drink juice. I drink juice. Here we have juice is uncountable noun. So we will use a lot of and a little. The opposite is a little. A lot of is a little. Here we have a little and here a lot of. Again, Adam and Muna, they are the opposite. عكس بعض. I eat sweets. Here we have sweets. Sweets is a countable noun, اسم معدود. So we will use a lot of and a few. A lot of and a few. Because we use a few with a countable and we use a lot of with countable and they are opposite. Here we talk about the large amount, كمية كبيرة, and here we talk about small amount, كمية صغيرة. I listen to music. Music is an uncountable noun, so we will use a lot of and a little. So, I listen to a little of music. I listen to a lot of music, sorry. And here, I listen to a little music. I play ball games. Ball games is countable noun, so we will use a lot of and a few. Here we have a few. We have a few ball games and here we have a lot of ball games. I do gardening. Gardening is uncountable noun, so we will use a lot of and not a few, a little, because a little is used with the uncountable noun. The last one, I take photos. Photos is a countable noun. So we will use a few and here we will use a lot of. So again my students, we use a lot of with countable and uncountable noun مع الأسماء المعدودة وغير المعدودة to talk about a large amount, كمية كبيرة. We use a little to talk about uncountable noun with a small amount, كمية صغيرة. And we use a few with countable noun to talk about a small amount, كمية صغيرة. Here my students, we have a homework. Choose the correct answer. Children need love and care, a few or a lot of. Bill needs exercise to lose weight, a few or a lot of. Number 2, Bill needs exercises to lose weight, a few or a lot of. Number 3, only people attended the birthday. Number three, only people attended the birthday party, a little or a few. Please, my students, answer the question on your book, in your notebook, and send me the answers. And thank you for listening.